And that's the main reason why such big personas online with personal brands and clothing brands are so successful in their spaces, as they understand that, you know what, the key to going viral only comes down to one single factor. So, as you guys have seen from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about the one factor that, regardless of what niche you're in, will make you go viral. And something that you're going to start getting from this video and from the videos that I've posted before and future ones is that social media and going viral and getting engagement and views and all that comes down to a lot of psychology. There is, of course, a lot of strategies behind certain pieces of content, but ultimately it comes down to a lot of psychology and making your audience feel a certain way. And when it comes to going viral online, there's one factor, one specific thing that regardless, like I said, that regardless of what you're in, will make you go viral. And it's something that influences almost every choice that you and I and everyone makes, regardless of how small or big it is. And like I said, when it comes to social media, it's the key. If you're able to really appeal and target and pinpoint this one factor within every piece of content that you publish to the market, it's really going to be something that's going to help you grow not only your personal brand but your business. And I am talking about status. That's the one thing. That's the factor. Regardless of who you are and the choices that you've made in life, and whether you're conscious of them or not, status in some type of way has influenced every decision you have made. Think about it. From what you wore this morning when you got up, to the places that you go work out, to the certain things that you say, to maybe the car that you decided to buy, Us as humans unconsciously look to increase our status. And when it comes to social media, having status and, for example, being the first one to look at a certain post and share it with your friends gives you status, right? Or, for example, looking at a piece of content that potentially gives you some type of value that makes you, for whatever reason, smarter or more insightful in a certain area, gives you status, right? So, status is the factor. But when it comes to status, I'm not talking about it in the sense of how others are going to perceive you or how others are going to perceive your audience. I'm talking about it more in the light of how your audience is going to perceive themselves. As you can see, I've added how they perceive your audience or how others perceive themselves. And when it comes to social media, this is what you want. You want your audience to believe that their status is increasing by the content that you post online. So what do I mean by this? So let's take, for example, the 5 markets on social media, which are health, wealth, relationships, personal development, and lifestyle. And within these markets, you have your niches, so for example, under health, you have fitness, weight loss, mental health, nutrition. Under wealth, you have personal finance, investing, real estate, entrepreneurship, relationships, dating, marriage, parenting, friendships, personal development, productivity, mindset, self-care, time management, and lastly, lifestyle. You have travel, fashion, tech, beauty, and many more. That's why I put etc. I just wanted to put some examples there so you have an idea of how, markets are the overview, but within the markets, there's a bunch of niches. And pretty much what you want to do is you want to create content that elevates the status in your audience's mind. And I mean, there's many examples of this online, but let's take fitness as one of the examples, which is under health. If you're a fitness coach or you're someone that's into fitness and weight loss, if you're able to curate content that makes your audience believe that they are getting smarter, that they are learning something, which they can later share with their peers, that's something that's going to make them feel as if their status has grown, right? In wealth, when it comes to personal finance and real estate, knowing certain business tactics or business insights and sharing it with others online is going to make someone feel smarter, which makes them feel as if their status has increased. When it comes to relationships, same thing, being very insightful of, parenting and having good friendships and having dating advice. If you're able to communicate all of these facts and advice to your audience, it's going to be something that's really going to make them feel as if, they're the best boyfriend or girlfriend or wife or husband, which makes them feel as if their status has increased. Personal development. This is one of the biggest ones. Productivity, mindset, self-care, time management. There's a reason why certain individuals online have really grown within the personal development niche, as they share that whenever their audience applies it and see good returns from it, they feel as more competent individuals, which makes them believe they have more status, right? And lastly, lifestyle. You have a lifestyle when it comes to fashion, traveling, tech. This one mostly applies to like for example, fashion. If you have a clothing brand, if your clothing brand makes someone appear more attractive, more appealing, that's of course going to make them feel as if their status has increased, right? If you're posting about travel tips about a certain country that not many tourists know about, and you share them out to the world, and whenever your audience goes to those places, they're able to take advantage of these tips that you were given to them and show them off to their friends. It makes them feel as if their status has increased. So there's many examples of this, of course. Like I said, there's many examples, and overall what you want to do is you want to elevate the status in your audience's mind. But that leaves us with a question, and that's that. How do you determine, or what determines what elevates status? And at this point, we're talking more about psychology. It's not so much about social media marketing and stuff. It's just about human nature. And there are 6 things that determine whether someone's going to feel as if their status has increased. And it's these 6 things. So no matter who they are, if someone identifies something, some type of information, some type of content, some type of business, and consider whether to interact with it, these are the 6 things that go through their mind when it comes to whether they're actually gonna interact with it or not. So would it make them appear smarter, happier, wealthier, more stylish, more powerful, and more attractive? So when it comes to content, if your content is made in a way that your audience will feel that if they consumed it, they would for some reason be smarter, happier, wealthier, more stylish, more powerful, and more attractive, they are more likely to engage with you and stay updated with you. And that's the main reason why, the whole concept of followers exists online. A lot of people think it's just about, following, but there's a whole theory and concept behind followers and why people, follow certain pages and personal brands, right? So what you want to do is you want to create content that when consumed by your audience, it makes them appear smarter, happier, wealthier, more stylish, more powerful, and more attractive. But on the other hand, there is also things that could make your audience push away from you, as, there's a reason why whenever you're on a sales call and you can't close someone, it's not just because they don't want to. There's probably reasons and a lot of psychology behind why someone won't interact with you. And ultimately, there's actually just one main reason to why someone wouldn't interact and engage with you, and that's if their status is going to decrease. So if you have a client or your audience is determining that, by watching you or engaging with your business or consuming whatever product you provide is going to decrease their status, they are more likely not to engage with you. And ultimately, what determines what decreases status is would it make them appear stupid. It's simple as that. Of course, you can add more words to explain what determines it, but ultimately, if someone believes that they are going to look stupid interacting or consuming or buying or certain thing from you, they are most likely not to engage or buy or consume whatever you provide into the market. Because looking stupid and losing status is most people's greatest fear, whether they're conscious or unconsciously of it. So that's why you need to do a lot of market research on what's truly working online, so you can really make sure that you don't make your audience feel as if interacting with you and make them feel stupid, and by extension make them lose status. But now that you understand this whole concept of the status and how it's one of the main factors to why people make choices regardless of the degree of it, how it applies to most niches, what determines it, well, how do you actually create content that elevates someone's status? Because at this point, you're probably thinking, okay, I understand it, but how do I actually, what do I do? How do I market myself? How do I create the content that's going to make people think that their status is being elevated by watching it? And it comes to one thing: presenting a new opportunity, which is a blue ocean. So what does this mean? Well, before I mention it, what you got to understand is that most likely, if your audience has a problem with fitness and losing weight, for example, it's probably not the first time they've tried to fix that problem. You know, if your clients in business, right, in online businesses, and they need, you know, content created, it's probably not the first time they reached out to a marketing agency and tried to hire someone to get their content made, you know. So you gotta understand that a lot of the issues that your audience may have, most of the time they've already tried to fix their problems either by themselves or with other people. And unfortunately, you know, experience kills sales. You know, there's been lots of moments where a lot of people, you know, have a great product, but because of past experiences with other agencies or other businesses or other personal coaches, they haven't been able to close. Which is why you need to create a new opportunity, which is a blue ocean. It's basically a niche that's untapped, that either people haven't tapped into, or it's an authentic way to market yourself. Because there's ultimately two ways to be able to do this. So like I said, you either become a market leader of a sub-niche, which meaning you would have to take one of these niches right here, for example. And once you take, for example, personal finance, you would have to dive even deeper and take certain issues within that niche and then, you know, become a master by it, become an expert within that sub-niche, and then you would create for yourself a blue ocean. But since that's really time consuming and most likely, for example, if you're a personal trainer, you're not going to be really looking into fitness and the science of it when you're just trying to help people lose weight, right? So what you got to do is you got to create authenticity for yourself. You have to market yourself differently. You have to be different. You can't look like all the other personal trainers online, which is why you have to implement a unique personal branding or unique branding to your clothing brand or business or personal training or agency, as this is the key to presenting a new opportunity. Because whenever you present a new opportunity to your audience and your clients, they don't know what to expect. You know, and they won't be able to compare their past experiences with personal coaches or agencies or other clothing brands as if you're not like them. I mean, sure, that's what you provide, but because you appear as new, they're most likely to take a chance with you, which is what you want. And that's the main reason why such big personas online with personal brands and clothing brands are so successful in their spaces, as they understand that, you know what, they need to differentiate themselves. They need to be unique. They need to present themselves as a new opportunity rather than just another guru online, right? Because, for example, Iman Gadzhi, he talks about SMMA, SAS. There's a lot of people that talk about SAS. There's a lot of people that talk about SMMA. But how come he's one of the most successful people in that space when it comes to acquiring clients and gathering attention for himself and his offer? Because he presents it in a way that appears as a new opportunity to really make it, rather than just another guru trying to help people start their SMMA or start their SAS, right? Gymshark has done the same thing. Gymshark isn't just another, you know, gym clothing brand. They've decided that it's a movement, you know, it represents something, and that wearing Gymshark doesn't just mean wearing gym clothes. It means that you're part of a community, that you're part of a movement of people who work hard, who wear high quality gym wear. Same thing with Alex Hormozi, you know, like he's determined that the best way to start a personal brand to grow their business is by just giving free value. He has hundreds of hours online just sharing value for free, because he understands that if he wants to differentiate himself from the competition, he has to do something different. Nude Project is another example. Nude Project is it's still somewhat of an upcoming brand, but it's already huge. 2024 they did a bunch of numbers, and they took a bunch of different approaches to how they branded themselves and are now one of the biggest streetwear brands. So what you need is uniqueness, because uniqueness leads to a new opportunity. Because a new opportunity presented in the right manner is going to make someone believe that their status is going to be elevated. And status is something that can pretty much be applied to all the markets online. And once again, it's one of the main reasons why people make decisions. So basically what I did here is I take you from the psychology, from the root, which is status, explain to you how it applies to whatever market, the type of content you need to create, what elevates status, and ultimately how presenting yourself as a new opportunity or creating a blue ocean for yourself is what will ultimately get you success within your niche. I've done it. As you can see, I've put some examples here. And what I did, even though I now market myself as a more unique personal brand, back then I did the second strategy, which was to become a market leader in sub niches. So for example, this is what I did. I grew my personal brand around personal development. And what I would do is I would take personal development and break it apart down to the psychology of why what I'm saying works. So for example, if you look at this video, I was talking about the 4 philosophies that could change your life, and within that video, it was a short video. I gave the 4 philosophies and a overview, simple explanation, right? Which got 31K views. The next video that I posted related to this one because I took one of the philosophies and broke it down even more, which was confidence, right? And talked about 5 ways to boost your confidence. This one got 81K. And the next one also relates to this one. I took one of the 5 ways, which was to become wise, and broke it down even more. Okay, 5 things wise men know, which got even more views. And then the same thing here. I took some of the concepts from this video and broke it down even more, which got 300K. And then ultimately, this one I talked about how to become stronger overnight, which I had a whole description on it. I related this one to this one, as psychology is, the root of a lot of human activities, and broke it down even more. And as you can see, this one got 3.4 million, right? So this works, becoming a market leader, presenting yourself in a unique manner, understanding that status is the root of most people's decisions, and how you can leverage it within whatever niche, as long as you understand the psychology behind it and what not to do, and ultimately present it as a new opportunity for whatever client you want to onboard. So any business owners wanting to learn all this information and apply it into their personal brands to ultimately create a profitable personal brand that can scale your business, DM me on Instagram expressing your interest, and I would gladly reach out to you on how I can help you out. But other than that, thank you for watching. I hope you guys got a bunch of value out of this video. Stay tuned for next week's video, and I'll see you guys in the next time. Peace.